I'm singing a song out there to all the women and all the brothers and all the babies. It's so nice to be in your country, to express myself to you this day. Calling you brother to the final call. Calling you brother to the final call. Calling you sister, yeah. Family all in all. Talk to my mother. She said, son, just come back home. She said, son, you got to be strong. I know you don't
Welcome, Living with Reality, Truth and Consequences. Your host, Mbaka. Living with Reality. This podcast is for those whom I love, family, friends, associates, general public, and in that order. I left off podcast 5 with the abomination and I introduced the banking, central banking digital currency, so whatever that stuff is, CBDC, central bank digital currency. But this abomination, there's been a call for a day of rage, April the 1st in Washington, D.C., from this transgender abomination society group of people who wants to chop off children's body parts, make it, and they change their sex without parental approval. The school systems are introducing this. The media is just, it's all about the destruction of America. Love it or leave it, love it or lump it. I've always been a great admirer of the Constitution itself. We are a republic. America is a republic, not a democracy. Democracy is not mentioned in the Constitution. So those of us who continue to use that word, that language, democracy, are continuing to, I guess, remain in the dark. When clear proofs come to you, when clear language comes to you, you don't want to accept it. The scripture says we reject sound doctrine. You just reject actual facts. This is a country that is governed by laws, not by groupthink. But this abomination, what has it built for society? What is it building? What good is it doing for families? What good is it doing for city, county, state, society as a whole? Please leave your comments in the comment section and come dialogue with me about what good does this kind of, what good does it do for society, for humans? It does a lot of harm, it's destruction in my analysis. I'm not going to say my opinion, no, my analysis. My analysis is based on historical precedents, biology, science, and common sense. I get excited about this subject, and as I do most of these subjects that's dealing with our human family, our human existence. We're talking black, brown, white, yellow, whatever color you want to put on it. We are a rainbow people. Most of our discussion about our color uh, comes from intermixing with the Caucasians. Well, be that as it may, um, we were different shades and colors before the Caucasian got here. So that's for another discussion, another subject matter. But I'm dealing with this abomination and this day of rage. They got posters out and everything calling for this. Fight back, transgenders, fight back. This transgender so-called society is so violent. Um, they're just violent. That's all it is to it. They're not being under attack. No one's attacking them. Only themselves. They are attacking general society. This recent shooting down at this church, they also want to attack Christians too. Well, all people of faiths. But the Christians are the soft target. You know, yes, soft target. So they grab the soft targets first. But it's coming for everybody. The transgender people who are so confused and so filled with these drugs, antipsychotic, I just call them psychotic drugs, suicidal drugs. Now they tell you this, all these things that may cause suicidal thoughts. Okay. Again, you want to deny reality? That's your business, but there's a consequence to that truth. As I scan over my notes here, I don't want to waste too much of your time, nor do I want to waste my time as well. Fed now. We're talking about the bankings. Just a brief, going to this banking thing for a moment. Banking. Fed now. That's been signed. That's due to take effect sometime in June or July. That's the it's like the garden hose that holds the water that runs through it. It's going to run us through the central bank, where all of our spending activities will be monitored and controlled by a central bank. Yes, artificial intelligence, so they call it AI. It's not artificial. It's what these maniacs, these psychotic, have programmed into this so-called artificial intelligence. There's nothing artificial about it. It's real. And it has real effect, real consequences. Fed. Now, do your own research. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it, but I do want to lead you to the water. I want to lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. Not that you're horses or cows. Although a lot of us act like cows, they just look and stare. Moo. Got that from the minister. Moo. You preaching to the choir, brother. Well, no, I'm not preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to those whom I love, family, friends, associates, and the general public in that order. Fed now, central banking, digital currency. Now, just earlier this morning, I'd come across some drastic news. There's a bill, and they say that it's likely to pass, so it cannot pass. Choir. This bill is S.686. Do your research. You got to look this up. It is set to pass. This bill, I guess it's Senate Bill 686. I can't emphasize enough how draconian and how deadly dangerous this is for life here in America. It's clothed, it's disguised under the TikTok ban. The Chinese are gathering our data. The Chinese are doing this and doing that. Okay, well, the Chinese ain't doing no more than what the so-called globalists have allowed them to do, or has programmed them to do as well. Who built up China over the last 10, 20 years? Well, America. We sent everything over there. And it's all documented. You know, they wanted to build up China. Duh. But the TikTok is a smokescreen for this S686 bill. 686. I've not added up the numbers or anything to deal with their stuff, but this is, it is so deadly that the government will be able to, first about TikTok. What can we do about TikTok? All they have to do is, one, the government could just ban TikTok. Two, government could demand that TikTok changes its algorithms, because the things we see on TikTok here in America, they don't see that over in China. No. Here in America, what you see on TikTok is twerking, flirting, killing, smoking, doping, ucking with the F on top and with the S on top, just all kind of debauchery type stuff, stuff that does no good for society. People want to express themselves. I mean, that's wonderful. We are so unique. Yes, we do want to express ourselves. And it is good to do that. However, when it becomes obsessive with destructive behavior, well, then you need to keep that to yourself. If you want to kill, if you feel like the climate is in harm for too many people, well, then kill yourself first. Then you won't even have to worry about it. Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, and the regular climate control activists. Climate control. You're going to control nature. And yes, they are messing with it. These mad scientists. When I say mad, I mean psychotic, because they are very wise. Very, very wise. Don't think that your public officials are dumb and stupid. No. They can't be dumb and stupid when they're ruling us. If they're dumb and stupid, what does that make us? Who submit to stupidity. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank God, for sane people. Thank God for coming, fulfilling what the scripture said that he would do, that he would come. And he would judge the nations, not just America, but all of the nations. So the war of Armageddon has begun. That war is an external war with guns, bullets, tanks, and the nuclear thing is right there as well. Actually, the nuclear thing has already been existent already too. They're using depleted uranium. They use it in Iraq and in various parts of the world with the ammunition. They build some of the military vehicles using the depleted uranium, which is the byproduct of the nuclear fission uranium that they make the weapons out of. It's like the leftover. It's just like fluoride too. This acid, the fluoride, is a byproduct of nuclear waste. Yes, fluoride. That dulls the senses, destroys the pineal gland, destroys our thinking. Look it up. Do your research. And tell me why the dentists say that you want a fluoride toothpaste. I grew up using fluoride toothpaste. We all grew up using fluoride toothpaste. Why? To prevent cavities. Well, did it prevent cavities? Did it prevent cavities? Hell no, it did not prevent no cavities. Only thing to prevent cavities is staying off the sugar. Don't let the sugar sit on your teeth, and brushing your teeth well, cleaning your teeth. That prevents cavities. But yes, again, change the algorithms so that we don't have all the debauchery stuff that our children are viewing all day and all night. Well, another thing is we need other activities. Yeah, other activities instead of sitting in front of a phone. I don't have mine with me, alhamdulillah. But, looking at filth for the most part. Communicating propaganda, but communicating gossip. That's the word I was looking for. Gossip. Just gossip. Gossip, gossip, gossip. He say, she say. He did, she did. What are you doing? Oh, you're doing the same filth. Garbage. But no, they don't want to change the algorithm. They don't want to just ban TikTok. They want to introduce this bill, Senate Bill 686. It's draconian. I'm going to keep referring to that because it is so devastating that you must get it and read it because there's so much in it. It covers everything. That anything that you say that is against the government narrative or the government's policy, if you are in disagreement about anything, they will shut down your computer, they will arrest you and put you in the jail for up to 20 years with no judge, no jury, no trial, you're gone. You're talking about no justice, no peace. They are codifying all of this in this bill. So, shall the lawful captive be freed? Well, the only way out of this, ladies and gentlemen, family, loved ones, friends, and foe as well, because you're not going to like it either. No, we won't be able to survive other than the most draconian tyranny that the world has ever seen. It's equal. It's similar to the Ring of Mordor in the trilogy, the movies of the Lord of the Rings. The introduction to the Lord of the Rings and about this ring and the power that it had is very similar to this 686 bill. That the power that's in this bill is the power to control all of humanity and humanity's communications, thoughts. Yes, you don't think your thoughts or mine are being manipulated in one fashion or another? Well, think again if you can. Wake up. Wake up. Living with reality, truth and consequences. To live. It's a way of life. Existing, it's a way of life. To live. Life. Interchange the I and the F with the O and the V, you got love. A way of life, love. Style, fashion. You know, say what our thinking is fashion. What's the latest style? What's the latest fashion? Who's describing, who's prescribing your fashion? Who's prescribing your style? Is it you? Or is it Louis Vuitton? Is it Tommy Hilfiger? Tommy John? What? Or is it the God of love, the God of righteousness that styles our fashion, that gives us our styling? Reality. not religion or belief. Reality is like a gathering of truth, historical and mathematical facts, and then applying our style, our fashion, our life, subject to that reality. Truth to that truth.
Talk to my father. Talk to the man. He said, how has your mother been? Did I tell you about her? How I remember when you said, son, you got to roll. Said, son, you got to be strong. I know we must make this whole wide world round. Oh, yeah. That's what has
Truth to that truth. Historical, mathematical, biological, scientific, all of the adjectives that you want that we can describe and prescribe lay on that, but yes. And then that leads us to the consequences. The consequences are life ending, bad, life supporting, life extending, good. Living with reality. Living with, being able to connect, being able to discern, to interpret, okay, is this right or is this wrong? Is this true? Is this false? Well, we've been brought up to say that the truth is and lies now. They're all in books. Everything you want to know is in a book. Everything, even this transgenderism stuff, it's in the book too. Drag queen story time. How are we going to have drag queen story time in our schools for our children? This is adult entertainment, as they call it. And not only is it adult entertainment, it is after hour. It was after hour adult entertainment. Now it's early morning in the schools. Where you got men who pretending to be women with beards and doing all type of gyrations and etc. in front of our children and grooming them. They're not coming for our children. They have come. And you do your research. It don't take a whole lot of digging either. It doesn't take a lot of digging. Propaganda, censorship. Why is it so prevalent here in America? Well, former President Obama legalized the propagandation of the American people. He signed that legislation, that executive order that said it's okay to feed American people propaganda, the same propaganda they fed over in Russia, just name a country that they wanted to destroy. The same propaganda, the same tools that they use overseas, the chickens have come home to roost. They're using the same technique, the same policy, the same lies, deceit, and wickedness on us. So we have to have something to hold on to in order to withstand the wiles of Satan, the wiles of this enemy of humanity, the enemy of good and all that is decent. How can we discern? How can we interpret without a teacher? And how can we have a teacher if he not be sent? Well, again, the scripture says that God himself would come. He sends prophets and messengers before to. But at this end time, God says himself that he will come himself. And he would put his words into the mouth of this Messiah, this Jesus. Yes, there's a whole lot to understand about this beautiful man, this beautiful figure, Jesus, who says that he and his Father are one. When you see me, you see the Father. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to the Nation of Islam, he said every time you look in the mirror, you're looking at God. Yes, God is a man. And if he was anything other than man, he would have to be less than man. But the scriptures tells us that man is the glory of God. I don't want to dwell off into their conversation at this particular time, but I'll refer to it constantly because it's important. Things are important. Sound doctrine. Senate Bill 686 establishes tyranny with law. And the propaganda and the censorship, remember Obama, a lot was done up under his presidency. The stuff in Ukraine was done up under his presidency. Yes, they got biological labs over there. They signed a lie with Russia that they'd never intended, some type of a peace treaty with Russia in 2014 that they never intended to fulfill. It was just a ruse to give them time, because Russia was on the verge of taking Ukraine back then. Because Ukraine is nothing but an extension of the Nazis. They are the real Nazis. They want to call the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers. These were men who stood up to defend innocent people who were being attacked by these fascists called Antifa. They burnt down cities now. You remember, you saw it on TV. Yeah, the revolution is televised. Yes, the revolution is televised. That's the only disagreement I have with our brothers, the last poets, but I did really love their stuff back in the day. Yeah, research the last poet, because things was happening back then. Well, they're happening right now too. Ball of confusion. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Yeah. Conscious songs. We had conscious rap too. Until they said, no, we got to deal wisely with them. People are trying to live right, you know. Lyndon Baines Johnson said that the niggers were living too good. Getting too much wealth. Yeah, the nigger. That's Lyndon Baines Johnson. Do your research. It's out there. You ain't got to dig far. You can find it. So what was he doing? What did he say we're gonna do? He said, well, let's get the father out of the house. Get that man out the house. Yes. This was the policy. And their policy had an objective. And the objective was to destabilize the black family. No, not destabilize, destroy the black family. As is the policy of Black Lives Matter political organization that everybody seems to just love. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. All lives matter, except wicked ones. If you're wicked, your life does not matter to me. There's a thin line right there, because God really does not want to punish the wicked. He wants the wicked to reform their wicked ways. What a merciful and forgiving God that I present to you, and doing my best to represent within myself. Because we're in a sea of sin. Yes, I was born in sin, in a sea of sin, and I was shaped in iniquity in this educational system, this societal norms. Yes, we are. And right now we are drowning. As a collective people, we're drowning in this sea of sin. Satan, the synagogues of Satan. It's in the book, Revelation. Synagogue, now, we've been kind of styled and fashioned and programmed into saying that's the Jews. Although Jesus was talking to the Jews at that time, but the synagogue is just a collection. It's not just Jews up in the synagogues. No, it's all colors, purple stripes, and yes, everybody's up in that synagogue. Look it up. Look up synagogue. Do your research. Know what the hell you're talking about. Know what the hell that you so-called believing in. That you are giving your life for. Now, if you want to give your life for sin, debauchery, that is your choice. That is your choice. They say, let the heavens fall. Yes. Bring it. Come on with it. There's consequences to it. And the consequences is the end of life, your life. Because that's what you chose. And that's your prerogative. Tell them, Hammer. Was that Hammer? Bobby Brown? Both of them. You can't touch it. Can't touch this. God is the greatest. Allahu Akbar. Again, so many lies. Where is the truth? How do we determine the truth? We have to have a teacher. Well, the teacher that came, that was raised from among the black man in America, he came from out of the mud, just like all of us. But he had a teaching that was so powerful that it raised giants in this country. It raised Muhammad Ali, who was a Cassius Clay. He raised a giant by the name of Malcolm Little, made a little man into a great man, into a big man. There's only one great man at that time, that's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who submitted himself totally to his teacher, which was God himself. I know you don't believe that. Well, you don't believe in God. Yes, I make that statement and say you don't believe in God because if we believe, I say we, I'm not trying to put myself up on no mountain. No, sir, no, ma'am. But if we believed in God, then we would obey God and do what God asks us and instructs us to do for a better, more comfortable, and pleasing life. We wouldn't lie on our brothers. We wouldn't sneak into our brother's house when he's gone to work and covet his wife. Oh Allah, oh Almighty God, who has manifested now. And this is God's time now. Evil has to go away. That's why the war of Armageddon is necessary. Because the God of righteousness is on the scene today, and the two gods cannot cohabit. No. One's got to go. So the all-powerful and the almighty, the originator, al-fatir of the heavens and the earth, as-samawati wal-ard, heavens and the earth, is on the scene now and has established his kingdom that is to grow, never to be an end to it. You can take it or leave it alone. Well, you better leave it alone if you don't take it. But you can't leave it alone because nothing else is going to be acceptable. So you can ignore it for a while, and that's all. Again, that's your prerogative. This bill 686 is treason to the highest degree, treason and traitorous to the American people. You've got to get this bill and study it because it's so much. If you disagree with the election, you're going to jail. If you disagree with gay pride, transvestites and all this, you're going to jail. Because the government says that's their main focus. That was the Secretary of State, one of these spokespersons, just was speaking to the world and said that, was it gay something or transgenderism or something was the focus of the American government now. It was the most important thing. You got generals and stuff talking about their wokeness. While the world is on the crust of hell, destruction, they're talking about wokeness, equity. We want equal results. You're never going to get equal results unless everybody's going to be 6 feet tall, weighing 210 pounds, and eating the same thing and thinking the same thoughts. Then you're going to have, that's equity. That's equal outcome. It's an illusion. It's not real. Wake up. Are we, the American people, so afraid to speak? Dumb. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Are we so deaf that can you hear what words that I'm speaking? Not that I'm speaking, but those who know that are speaking. I mean, on both sides of the coin. Listen to this side and listen to that side. That's what honest debate is about. But these mad scientists and these mad people, they don't want no debate, the so-called left. I don't like using that language because when we use that language, we already have failed using illegitimate language. But since that's all we know now, we have to come up in there just like, oh, Satan came up into us. It's like a thief in the night, so says the scripture. So yeah, we're going to have to come up in that way too. Are you so blind? Can you not see the results? The consequences? Well, if we cannot speak, if we cannot hear, if we cannot see, then we are considered dead. Dead. That's death. But Jesus said so beautifully in the scripture, says, Lazarus is not dead. He's not dead, y'all. We not dead, y'all. We're just asleep. And we need to be raised up from our slumber, from our sleep. But we cannot arise on our own. We need the strength and the help of a master teacher, a master mason, to raise us up out of our grave of ignorance, our grave of stupidity, our grave of sport and play, our grave of treachery and debauchery, as it was in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, in the time of Noah, so shall it be at the time of the coming of the Son of Man, the Son of God, God himself. Sodom and Gomorrah had nothing on what's going on here in America today. So just understand that 75% of the Bible is prophecy. 25% of it is historical. Again, I'm your host, Mbaka. Living with reality, truth, and consequences. I pray that I've not offended you in an ugly manner. I don't mean no harm. Let me retract both those. I am regretful that we're at this state of our lives, of this existence. And if my words have pierced you and if they've caused you harm, then Malcolm X said it, the only dog that hollers is the one that got hit. So if you got hit, oh, well then just straighten up, get right, tighten up, and fly right. I'm your host, Mbaka. Thank you for spending this time with me. Before I go, Senate Bill 686. Oh, but last thing about this bill now, it is retroactive. It's in the bill. So in the past, if you said anything, done anything, in the present, like now I am. So apparently in this bill and the future. So if you said something in the past that was against what they talking about, that they want you to say, you're going to jail. If you're doing it right now, you're going to jail. And if sometime in the future you do something, because this is like technology that hasn't been developed yet, or thoughts that haven't come around yet, it's all in this bill. It is total tyranny. And who's going to be who's making the decisions on the so-called top? Well, hell, we don't even know. They're not elected. Unelected shadow people will determine our lives. So we must stand up, reject this Senate Bill 686. Go to your sheriff. Your sheriff has a lot of power in your county. He runs the show. He has the power, the sheriff, Sharifu. Again, I'm your host, Mbaka. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Assalamu alaikum. La paz usted. Peace be with you. I didn't have time to learn some other languages on this because I was going to do that today earlier, but this bill hit me and my mind has just been swirling with it, with all this transgenderism and this stuff and killing going on. And thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.